An amazing archaeological find can happen anywhere, at any time in the world. You don't even necessarily need the help of an experienced archaeologist to make an incredible find, because all you need to do is pay close attention to the bizarre and beautiful world around you. If you do, your finds might one day appear on our channel. In the meantime, here's another collection of truly historic archaeological discoveries that will blow your mind. Let's start this countdown with number 15. Labakali Wedge Tomb. Ireland's landscape is scattered with megalithic tombs, but the Labakali Wedge Tomb in County Cork stands out for both its size and history. Dating back roughly 4,300 years, it's the country's largest wedge tomb. The name Labakali translates to Hag's Bed in Irish, a nod to its unusual shape and local legend. Excavations in 1934 revealed multiple layers of human remains and tools, indicating that the site had been reused for burials over an extended period, possibly beginning in the Stone Age. According to regional folklore, the tomb is the resting place of Cailleach Biera, a Celtic hag goddess associated with winter and storms. That tale gained momentum in 1943 when archaeologists discovered the decapitated remains of a woman within the tomb, though her burial was dated nearly 3,000 years after the tomb's construction. Even if she wasn't the mythical hag, the story persists. Labakali's enduring presence and unique cultural associations make it one of Ireland's most enigmatic and enduring prehistoric sites. Number 14. Carnarvon Tablet. The Carnarvon Tablet, discovered in 1908 near Deir el-Bahari in Egypt, offers a rare written account of ancient military history. British archaeologist Lord Carnarvon found the pair of plastered wooden tablets amid pottery shards near a tomb once thought to date from Egypt's 17th dynasty, though later reassigned to the 18th. The front side records Pharaoh Kamos's military campaign against the Hyksos, while the reverse contains an excerpt from the Maxims of Ptahhotep. The second tablet is damaged, its contents largely illegible. At first, scholars believed these writings were part of a student's exercise, but Sir Alan Gardner proposed they were copies of Kamos's commemorative stela from Thebes. French Egyptologist Lecoux and Chevrier later confirmed his theory by comparing the text with fragments discovered at Karnak. Why these replicas were scrawled on stuccoed wood and left among broken pottery is still uncertain. Whether intended as a practice exercise, devotional item, or unauthorized copy, the Carnarvon Tablet remains a significant insight into Egypt's resistance against foreign rule. Number Dreesen. Zuccaro Sits, Divine Comedy Illustrations. To mark the 700th anniversary of Dante Alighieri's death, Florence's Uffizi Gallery released a digitized set of 88 rare illustrations created in the late 1500s by Federico Zuccaro. His drawings, based on Dante's Divine Comedy, had previously remained tucked away in storage, too fragile to be displayed. But in 2021, for the first time, they were made fully accessible to scholars and the public. Zuccaro's illustrations are revered as the most significant visual interpretations of Dante's work until Gustave Doré arrived centuries later. Known for painting the frescoes inside Florence's Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore, Zuccaro also worked for royal courts across Europe, including those of Elizabeth I and Philip II. The Uffizi acquired his Divine Comedy set in 1738, and it's remained in careful preservation ever since. The digitized volume mirrors the original layout, with each page of verse accompanied by its matching sketch and a summary written by Zuccaro himself. These illustrations offer more than artistry, they reflect a Renaissance vision of Dante's timeless journey. Well, that's why we love art and artists, they're imaginative. Number 12. Muisca Tunjos. The Muisca civilization didn't construct big temples like the Maya or Inca, but their gold working was unmatched. Among their most distinctive artifacts are the tunjos, small, intricate votive figurines made from gold or tumbaga, a gold-copper-silver alloy. These objects weren't just decorative, they served as spiritual offerings to deities, meant to invoke favor or mark sacred spaces. Tunjos have been discovered in graves, caves, and ritual sites like Lake Guatavita and the Bogotá River. In 2001, 3 identical tunjos turned up in Carmen de Caropa, Cundinamarca, matching others found as far away as Val del Colca. This suggests that the Muisca used standardized molds likely carved from shale or obsidian. Molten metal was poured directly into the stone form, producing detailed casts without soldered elements. Even the metal's crystal structure confirms this technique. Far more than trinkets, these figures reflect religious intent, technical mastery, and a complex culture that thrived long before the Spanish conquest. They remain among the most compelling examples of sacred metallurgy in pre-Columbian South America. Number 1. Nuestra Señora de Atocha. The Spanish galleon Nuestra Señora de Atocha was launched in 1620 and met her tragic end just 2 years later. After barely completing one round trip between Spain and Colombia, she sank off the coast of Florida during hurricane season in 1622. She carried with her a staggering cargo of treasure like silver, emeralds, and gold. The ship remained lost for over 3 centuries until famed treasure hunter Mel Fisher located her wreck in 1985. Among the items recovered was the Atocha emerald, which was later valued at around $250,000, along with an emerald-studded ring and a single gold coin worth $100,000. In recent years, some of the treasure has been put up for auction, drawing renewed attention to one of the most valuable shipwrecks ever discovered. The Atocha's ill fate, combined with the sheer opulence of her cargo, makes her story a symbol of maritime fortune and failure. Though storms took the ship, her legacy has resurfaced one artifact at a time, from the ocean floor to the collector's vault. Number 10. Roman mosaic in Var. On the Croatian island of Hera beneath the old streets of Stari Grad, archaeologists recently uncovered an intricately designed Roman mosaic. Just 2 feet below the surface, the geometric patterns remained astonishingly intact, hinting at the presence of a once grand Roman villa. The fact that the mosaic survived centuries of flooding, street repair, and foot traffic is remarkable on its own. Its proximity to sea level has always made this part of the island vulnerable to water damage, and now that the artwork is exposed, the risk is even greater. Experts and residents alike are hoping funding will allow for a plexiglass shield so it can be preserved without being hidden. But before that happens, archaeologists need to assess how much more lies beneath. If additional panels remain untouched, the entire site could become a cultural landmark. For now, the mosaic speaks for itself, an elegant reminder that long before tourists filled these streets, Roman hands laid each tile with precision, creating art meant to last. Number 9. Dhamek Stupa. At the heart of Sarnath stands the Dhamek Stupa, one of Buddhism's oldest surviving monuments and a symbol of its foundational moment. Built to mark the site where Siddhartha Gautama gave his first sermon, the turning of the wheel of Dharma, the stupa's origins trace back to 249 BCE under Emperor Ashoka. As a key ruler of the Maurya dynasty, Ashoka actively promoted Buddhist ideals, commissioning stupas across the subcontinent. Over the centuries, the original Dhamek structure was rebuilt, with the current form dating to around 500 CE. Its base is covered in elaborate carvings, geometric, floral, animal, and human motifs, typical of the Gupta period. In the 1830s, a British archaeologist discovered a stone tablet inside the stupa inscribed with verses affirming its religious importance. Despite centuries of change, the monument remains a spiritual landmark, drawing pilgrims from around the world. The Dhamek Stupa isn't just an architectural relic, it's a living connection to the moment when a prince became the Buddha and reshaped world philosophy forever in a way no human can imagine. Number 8. Harappan Water System and Signboard. The archaeological site of Dhalavira, part of the Indus Valley Civilization, sits in Gujarat and holds what's considered the world's oldest known signboard. It also features one of the earliest large-scale water management systems in human history. During monsoon season, rainfall was channeled through 2 networks that diverted water into the Manhar and Mansar reservoirs. The signboard itself is composed of 10 Indus script symbols inscribed on a stone slab that once likely hung above a major structure. Though the script remains undeciphered, scholars believe it functioned as a form of early public communication. The city's layout is strikingly advanced, with designated administrative, industrial, and residential zones all organized around a fortified citadel. Dalla Vera was abandoned around 3,800 years ago, possibly due to climate shifts and falling sea levels. Afterward, wind and sand buried the city for centuries until it was rediscovered in 1956. Its urban planning, water systems, and enigmatic inscriptions still stand as some of the greatest achievements of the Harappan civilization. Alright, now, let's move to number 7. Ancient boat in Uruk. Uruk, one of the oldest cities in human history, delivered another find in 2018, a bitumen-coated boat over 4,000 years old. Unearthed by an international archaeological team, the vessel was found beneath a dried-up canal just meters from a modern road. Its survival is largely credited to its burial location, which shielded the wooden structure from decay. The boat measures roughly 20 feet long and 4 feet wide and was built using palm leaves, reeds, and wood, all sealed with a layer of bitumen for waterproofing. Its design suggests it was used for trade rather than fishing, offering insight into the region's bustling economic activity during the Sumerian period. Back then, Uruk was the heart of Sumeria, housing an estimated 80,000 people and serving as a center of governance, religion, and commerce. Given how rare it is for wooden artifacts of this age to survive, the discovery is not just exceptional, it adds texture to our understanding of how ancient civilizations navigated and moved their goods through complex waterways. Number 6. Ancient wooden pagan idol in Roscommon Bog. In August 2021, while working in County Roscommon, researchers retrieved an unusual artifact from Ireland's peatlands, an 8-foot wooden idol dating back roughly 1600 years. Though its humanoid form is abstract, the carving is unmistakably deliberate. Wooden idols have been found in Irish bogs before, but never one of this size or age. The acidic, oxygen-poor conditions of peat bogs preserve organic material, allowing the idol to survive for millennia. When lifted from the ground, it brought up an assortment of objects, animal bones, weapons, jewelry, and even human remains, suggesting a ceremonial deposit. Experts believe this was a large-scale votive offering, possibly made during the Ice Age. Despite its massive size, the idol's symbolism remains unclear. Was it a deity, a guardian, an ancestor? No one knows, but the surrounding artifacts reinforce the idea that the bog wasn't a dumping ground, it was a creepy ritual site. Number 5. Caligula sits sunken palaces. For centuries, rumors swirled around Lake Nemi. Locals insisted 2 huge shipwrecks lay at the bottom. The stories were dismissed until 1446, when Cardinal Prospero Colonna found ancient wooden beams submerged at 60 feet. They weren't just ships, they were elite pleasure barges built for Emperor Caligula during the 1st century CE, floating palaces complete with marble floors, bronze fittings, and ornamental decorations. Lead pipes and tiles confirmed Caligula's ownership. After his death, the ships were deliberately scuttled, filled with stones, and sunk. In 1936, under Benito Mussolini, a dedicated museum was built to house them following a massive recovery effort. The discovery became a national triumph until World War II, when the vessels were destroyed in a fire, possibly intentional. Only fragments remain today, including bronze fixtures and documentation. Though the wrecks are gone, their legacy endures, testaments to Roman engineering, imperial extravagance, and the fragility of historical preservation. What once symbolized power now survives as echoes preserved in photographs and surviving relics. Number 4. Bronze Age genetic shift in Orkney. In 2022, researchers studying ancient remains from the Orkney Islands in Scotland proposed a theory that reshapes the region's Bronze Age history. Previously believed to be a place of stable Neolithic lineage, Orkney may have undergone a massive demographic shift, led not by men but by women. Genetic analysis shows that while the dominant male bloodline of Neolithic Orkney persisted for over 1,000 years, it was eventually replaced. Female DNA from the Bronze Age shows origins from different regions, suggesting that incoming women gradually reshaped the island's population. This is a striking contrast to the rest of Europe, where Bronze Age migrations were typically male-led, driven by livestock and land. Eventually, even that male Neolithic lineage disappeared during the Iron Age. Today's Orkney residents show no direct genetic link to the Bronze Age population. This discovery flips expectations and raises new questions about the role of women in shaping ancient migrations, social structures, and life. Number 3. In Isur Megacity in Israel. In 2019, archaeologists in Israel uncovered the massive ruins of Isur, a 5,000-year-old city that upended long-held assumptions about ancient urban life in the Levant. Located in the heart of the Sharon Plain, the site revealed a complex urban layout, featuring well-planned roads, residential quarters, fortified walls, and a central temple. Capable of housing 6,000 people, the city was a true Bronze Age metropolis. Even more startling, beneath Isur's remains lay an older settlement, built 2,000 years earlier. That dual layer suggests this was a strategic location occupied for generations. The city's scale and planning have earned it comparisons to a Bronze Age New York. Artifacts, including tools and imported items, point to robust trade networks and a centralized governing structure. Isur wasn't just large, it was influential. Excavations are ongoing, and each new layer adds more depth to its story. As one of the region's most important archaeological finds in decades, Isur has redefined the early history of organized civilization in the area. Number 2. Ritual deposits. At Palenque. Palenque is one of the best-studied ancient Maya cities, but even so, new discoveries continue to emerge. In April 2022, archaeologists uncovered hundreds of animal bones buried within ceremonial structures, most likely tied to large-scale feasts. What sets this find apart is the context. Mixed among the remains were small shell beads, fragments of greenstone, and traces of charcoal, elements linked to ritual activities rather than waste disposal. The remains were unearthed near El Palacio, Palenque's central palace complex and spiritual heart. The animals, ranging from fish and mollusks to reptiles and birds, point to the use of nearby rivers and wetlands for food. These remains were likely buried to commemorate the start or completion of major construction work, a common practice in Maya culture. Rather than sacrificial offerings, these were probably the remnants of shared meals, reserved for specific events of political or religious importance. The discovery adds another layer to how the Maya tied everyday life, politics, and food into acts of reverence. Alright guys, now let's end this with Number 1. Lincoln Cathedral Seal Matrix. In 2018, during a routine audit at Lincoln Cathedral, collections officer Fern Dawson discovered a rare 12th century silver seal matrix tucked inside a mislabeled box. Initially dismissed as a Victorian reproduction, further examination confirmed it was genuine, once used by the medieval dean and chapter of Lincoln Cathedral to create wax seals for official documents. The matrix features the Virgin Mary holding the Christ child on one side and the adult Christ seated on a throne on the reverse. Alongside it were two other original medieval seal matrices, also mistakenly stored among replicas. These three artifacts hadn't been publicly acknowledged until their rediscovery, but since September 15th of that year, they've been on display in the Lincoln Cathedral treasury. Once the cathedral's new visitor center opens, they'll be relocated for better access and preservation. The seal matrix is considered a striking example of Norman metalwork and holds both administrative and artistic significance. Its re-emergence was hailed by historians as a major find hidden in plain sight. If you've enjoyed watching this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.